Hi, and welcome to the Australian Steel Institute Steel Excellence Awards for 2020. Although times have been challenging, it's exciting to provide a program to celebrate excellence in design, fabrication and construction of projects for the Australian community. Firstly, I'd like to recognise the founding members of the Australian Steel Institute, BlueScope, InfraBuild and Stramit, whose support provides a platform for the Australian Steel Institute to service the steel industry in all of our endeavours. I would also like to thank the many sponsors of the Steel Excellence Awards program for 2020. As you would know, steel has many product attributes. It is strong, light, formable and reusable. Steel is used in many applications, and there are continued innovations in the development of new grades to provide even greater benefits and use. The Australian steel supply chain prides itself in providing compliant products and solutions to ensure projects meet their intended design life. The ASI has created compliance solutions to assist engineers to design with confidence, constructors to select certified fabricators to the Australian standards, and surety and shed designs meeting the Building Code of Australia. It is also important to note the high level of safety which is achieved utilising the local industry. With sustainability in the spotlight, the intelligent design of structures has never been so important. Good design provides for the utilisation of responsibly sourced materials, efficient fabrication and erection, delivering completed buildings that meet the high requirements for energy efficiency. The projects that have been submitted to this awards program have been outstanding. Please join me in celebrating brilliant steel structures enhancing our built environment.
Thanks, Mark. The Steel Excellence Awards provides for several categories for projects to be entered. These include buildings large projects, buildings small projects, steel-clad structures, engineering projects, and young designer, engineer or tradesperson. I would like to acknowledge the sponsors for this awards program. Our major sponsors, BlueScope and Australian Super. Our distributor sponsors are Southern Steel, Metro, BlueScope Distribution, InfraBuild, Orcon Steel, Vulcan. To commence our awards, I welcome a message from our major sponsor, BlueScope.
For me, the Australian landscape is defined by its sense of space. And in that space, that vastness, there's a real feeling of freedom. So I'm looking for those places where I'm completely surrounded by the landscape. I'm inside of something. When that happens, it's an incredibly powerful feeling. When I'm photographing a landscape, I'm basically organising space with the camera, responding to the textures. So it's much the same when I'm working with architecture. I'm responding to how the form sits within its environment. All of that to create something that works. That's the journey.
Thanks, BlueScope. Okay, let's proceed to our first category.
Buildings, large projects. The shortlisted entries for the Buildings Large Projects category are 4 Parramatta Square. The decision to incorporate a triple jump start structural steel solution for this 5-star multi-storey structure provided the opportunity for several work fronts, accelerating construction and saving up to 4 months on the program. Each jumpstart utilised 1500mm inclined composite columns supporting composite floors and is the biggest of its kind in Australia. The result was a robust building providing 33 floors of A-grade commercial space, boasting 3,000 square metres of public domain areas right in the heart of Parramatta. 60 Martin Place. Located in the business heart of Sydney, this project embraced several key structural steel elements. The 43-tonne steel transfer trusses allow the building to cantilever and extend over the top of the existing St Stephen's Church in Macquarie Street. A significant 21-metre long by 4.5 metre high truss was installed in the plant room on level 18. The elegant light steel framed staircase provides a standout feature, climbing up through 5 levels in the naturally lit lobby. Arc by Crown. World-renowned architect Koichi Takada drew his inspiration for the elegant steel arched hoops from the curving forms of the iconic Harbour Bridge and Sydney Opera House. This project clearly demonstrates the flexibility of structural steel being used to form extremely rigid complex profiles, in which the effective use of BIM design by the engineering consultant and the detailer greatly assisted with both fabrication and erection processes. This unique and beautifully designed structure features distinctly in the Sydney skyline. Bankwest Stadium. The world-class 30,000-seat stadium in Parramatta is a beautiful synthesis of engineering and design. The seamless, innovative geometry and configurations of the 28,000 square metre roof structure was designed to be disassembled and reused in the future if desired, and were fundamental to creating the main architectural showpiece. The design for manufacturer approach enabled 4,500 tonnes of steel to be fabricated off-site, eliminating over 2,000 connection plates. The Stadium for the People was sourced from Western Sydney, creating a proud legacy within the community. Crown Sydney Hotel Resort. New South Wales' first 6-star luxury hotel stands at a breathtaking 275 metres high, claiming the tallest building in Sydney status. Across the tower's 72 floors are 82 apartments and a 349-room hotel overlooking the iconic Harbour Bridge and Opera House. The structural steelwork was procured locally and fabricated in Western Sydney. Some key highlights were the installation of the 35-metre, 90-tonne beams within the podium and installation of structural elements on the top level of the mighty tower. Sydney Metro City and South West Temporary Pedestrian Bridge. A temporary bridge was required during construction of the Martin Place shafts to keep the existing train station open, providing access to 2 levels of pedestrian walking and allowing for the excavation below. The superstructure consists of 3 bolted straight truss segments forming the main span and 3 bolted triangular truss segments at each end. Construction sequence was segmental with bolted splices and steel columns end supports. The 3 truss segments were craned into situ with 2 triangular segments then attached, all in a single weekend. Sydney Metro Northwest Stations. The stations and their iconic steel canopies stand out in terms of elegance and efficiency of the engineered solutions. The challenges were answered by a state-of-the-art approach in design and delivery and should be considered a benchmark in engineering excellence for infrastructure buildings. This approach combined advanced analysis and optimization techniques, detailed modelling and coordination of all steel components of the buildings. Critical to this approach was the integration of constructability, safety in design and use, durability, life cycle maintenance, and efficient use of energy. Sydney Coliseum Theatre. The Sydney Coliseum Theatre is a new multi-purpose entertainment complex. The building has a series of creative and innovative structural solutions throughout, including the 20-metre high steel frame supporting the precast facade around the front atrium, the arched lateral restraint steel to the south, and the hung fly galleries within the fly tower. The design included integration of a plant room within the roof trusses and lightweight construction to the perimeter walls and front foyer area. Many elements required out-of-the-box thinking to realise the architectural vision for the building. Waterfall by Crown. Due to the complexity of the waterfall frame arrangement and positioning of the steel frames, every consideration was given to the design, fabrication and installation methodologies to ensure a flawless installation on site. The waterfall structure consisted of 16 perforated steel frames. Installation site time was reduced by the development of a spigot connection, which enabled the interlocking between the frames during installation. The 7-storey waterfall is a focal point for this residential development and is the tallest man-made external waterfall in the Southern Hemisphere.
The judges awarded a high commendation in this category. The high commendation is awarded to
Sydney Metro City and South West Temporary Pedestrian Bridge.
Congratulations to Sydney Metro City and South West Temporary Pedestrian Bridge. And now for the winning project for Buildings Large Projects for 2020.
Bankwest Stadium.
Through engagement with some local businesses in and around Western Sydney and through some additional support from businesses located in regional New South Wales, we were able to competitively deliver a world-class piece of infrastructure for the people of New South Wales. I think the key challenge on the project was that we were contracted to an ambitious program, and that required an aggressive procurement and install strategy in order to meet the project deadlines. Obviously with steel you can manufacture off-site, so that provided us with flexibility to ramp up production across our manufacturing facilities in order to be able to meet the project schedule. Stadium roofs of this nature generally require a significant amount of working at height, and steel provided us with some flexibility in and around solutions that could reduce that working at height by modularizing the roof structure. So there was a whole body of work that was undertaken by our engineers, Oricon, to assist us with designing the structure so that it could actually freestand in its temporary state, and so that we could actually undertake lifting with a crane as a module. A major part of our project success could probably be attributed to the collaboration between Oricon, Populous, El Masri Drafting and Lend-Lease. From the outset of the project, we sought to co-locate all of our people within the same office to create a more cohesive team environment, and this resulted in pretty much what I would consider the gold standard in project collaboration between consultants and builder. Joe Perello from Oricon and Al Baxter from Populous deserve a special mention. As project leads, they set the tone of the project with their own respective people, and were really pivotal in ensuring that the collaboration was successful. Bankwest Stadium is an architectural expression of Western Sydney's industrial heritage, and Populous quite cleverly expressed this through the use of open steel sections throughout the stadium. A defining feature of Bankwest Stadium was the large roof structure, which provided 100% coverage to the seating bolt. Oricon designed a 36-metre cantilevering roof structure to basically span this distance, and the only real solution for this cantilevered roof structure was structural steel. We see this award as recognition from the Australian steel industry, and for us this is vitally important as we look beyond Bankwest Stadium towards future collaborations with local industry partners.
Congratulations to Bankwest Stadium. And now for a message from our other major sponsor, Australian Super.
It's Australian. To be there for one another through the ups and the downs. It's super. To know that Australia's largest super fund is investing for you like no other fund can. It's yours. Your money for your future. With Australian Super by your side. Now and for the long run. It's Australian. It's super. And it's yours.
The next category is Building Small Projects. The shortlisted entries for the Building Small Projects category are Bathurst Railway Museum. The museum complex uses narrative architecture to complement the Heritage Railway Institute with the industrial appearance of the exhibition centre and children's learning space. The awning sheltering the platform and the heritage Red Rattler carriage were designed with a minimalistic approach, resemblant of Industrial Revolution railway structures, where steel lattice and arches were a method employed to achieve lightweight, elegant and extremely efficient structures. Steel was the only logical material choice to achieve the desired aesthetic to comply with the architect's intent. Marsden Park amenities. The intent of the architectural scheme was for a visibly light tree-like canopy spanning 65 metres over the publicly accessible amenities block. The feature steel canopy needed to accomplish the dual challenges of large cantilevering spans and exposed wind loading while minimising member sizes, both for aesthetic reasons and to limit deflection under its own weight. The final structural scheme consisted of a steel net of upper roof beams spanning between column trunks to support the large overhangs. Willinga Park Administration Building. The project was conceived as a floating volume clad in a muted zinc and clearly dissimilar when viewed next to its predecessors. Huge cantilevers were achieved with prefabricated structural frames achieving uninterrupted views of the arena. The zinc cladding wraps up walls, roof and underside, mirrors of each other, appearing as if it were the hull of a ship. Recesses within the facade conceal vertical zinc vents which open up to provide cross ventilation to the internal spaces when desired. Willinga Park Camp Draft Grandstand Stage 2. Over the past 6 years, Willinga Park has rapidly evolved to address all forms of competitive equine disciplines. The design of the 300-seat grandstand elevates the structure so that spectators have a panoramic view over the entire sand arena. The large exposed steel truss frame is positioned on concrete blades, creating the elevated walkway connecting to the existing grandstand. The large expanse of roof is supported on a half a dozen slender SHS and CHS columns, creating an impressive 10-metre span shelter. Woodcroft Neighbourhood Centre. This multi-purpose community centre is crafted in various materials to express ways to be warm, textural and robust. The steel roof frame flows in waves to express the final form, creating large column-free areas for communities to meet. 3 core sections are gathered up under the signature serpentine roof, whose rise and fall reflects the different volumes of interior space. By night, the roofline is expressed by the warm white glow of its opalescent polycarbonate apron, tracing the squiggly line.
And now for the winning project for Building Small Projects for 2020.
Bathurst Railway Museum.
The Bathurst Railway Museum is a complex comprising 3 interlinked buildings and a large cantilevered steel awning sheltering a historic Red Rattler train carriage. The awning design is reminiscent of old railway platform shelters that rely on slender latticework arches. Due to the cantilevered design of the awning, which also is inclined away from its base, there is a large amount of stress in the steel, so it's hard to find a balance between keeping the sections slender enough to remain sympathetic to the architect's vision, pliable enough to bend to the required radius, and also being strong enough to support the required loads. In addition to this, there are numerous breakout spaces and several cantilevered corners of the buildings over glazed walls, which also provide quite the challenge. In both instances, steel was an ideal solution due to the benefits of the structural stiffness that can be achieved with relatively lightweight sections. The use of steel provided flexibility in achieving the required building geometry and the awning shape. And in addition to this, the framework could all be fabricated off-site, allowing for rapid assembly and construction. And this also allowed for parallel processing as the site foundation works could take place while the structure was being fabricated. The use of steel as a material definitely enhanced the overall design. Firstly, it permitted the primary structure to be constructed as per the design and achieve the desired aesthetic of the slender awning. In addition to this, the cladding of the structure and standing seam cladding provided a dominant yet graceful industrial look associated with the railway, which really sets off the museum complex. We're very proud to have won the Small Building Projects category, and it still feels a little surreal to have won. I'd like to give special mention and thanks to all the contributors in the project's design and construction, namely IDG Architects, Clare Civil, Tablelands Builders and ICR Engineering. I know they'd equally be as proud.
Congratulations to Bathurst Railway Museum. Let's now have a look at a message from our sponsor for the engineering projects for New South Wales and ACT, Bisalloy Steels.
We move it with pride. We build it with you in mind. We protect what's most valuable. And we shield those who defend us. It's our business. Australian-made steel for over 40 years. Bisalloy.
Our next category is Engineering Projects. The shortlisted entries for the Engineering Projects category are Bankwest Stadium. The team designed custom steel roof sections, simplifying connection detailing, allowing for plate thicknesses to be specifically chosen to eliminate packing plates in bolted connections, and ultimately reducing the weight of the roof trusses. Core to the team's approach was the design of repeatable elements of steel which could be installed quickly using standardised construction techniques, almost totally eliminating site welding. Creating a wow moment for Infrastructure New South Wales, the result is an iconic symbol within the Western Sydney skyline. Durhambale Causeway Replacement Project. A semi-modular bridge solution replaced a collapsed causeway following a severe flood event. The system comprises two main parts: a steel tray and reinforcing cage forming the deck units with abutments, and headstocks providing a complete bridge solution. The In-Quick system includes a variety of steel elements, from galvanised and zinc alloy coated steel through to stainless steel and reinforcing bar. The benefits efficiently manage scarce local construction resources, and the rapid construction minimises the disruption from temporary closure of crossings. Ken Rosewell Arena. Structural engineers Arup conceived and designed a solution which enclosed the existing stadium while maintaining the integrity of the original design. It utilised the circular form of the existing stadium, cleverly reprovisioning the support provided by the existing perimeter roof structure to the rear of the seating bowl via the structural system of the new roof. This required a simple sequence of construction to trick the existing raking beam that nothing was changing. The result is an example of sustainable, structural-led repurposing and reconfiguration. Lachlan's Line Pedestrian Bridge. This unique project facilitates safe pedestrian and cycle access to and from North Ryde Metro Station. The bridge weighs 335 tonnes in total and has an overall length of 170 metres. It boasts a maximum unsupported span of 70 metres and consists of over 3,500 individual components, requiring 14 kilometres of welding. The sinuous and spiralling electric blue structure delivers a unique design and a memorable structure which meets the brief in both function and outstanding elegance. M4 Smart Motorway. The The M4 motorway is New South Wales' first smart motorway, introducing intelligent technology to Sydney's roads, which will help manage traffic congestion and prevent crashes for the 100,000 daily motorists who use the motorway. The upgrade included the installation of 46 gantries and 18 variable message signs. Off-site fabrication of the entire gantries provided the pathway for fast, efficient installation, thereby minimising disruption to traffic flows. Shell House, Wynyard Place. At 65 metres high, Shell House is one of the tallest retained heritage facades in the world. The key objectives included the retention of 3 elevations of the existing heritage facade and the retention of the existing 400-tonne heritage clock tower in position throughout the works. The existing structure, temporary facade retention system and new permanent structure were all created in 3D modelling software. The distinctive bracing arrangement, which became the signature of the project, is a result of adapting and meeting the many site constraints. Sydney Metro City and South West, tunnel, station and excavation. The design of the temporary platform structure required to facilitate the construction of the Barangaroo station box included suspended public access for the full length of the box excavation. A site challenge was the location being alongside a heritage wall. At the southern end, the public access has been supported on steel girders traversing the excavation. At the northern end, it's been supported on steel girders cantilevered off the existing heritage wall. The steel girders were extended at a later stage to allow construction of 2 bridges over the excavation. The steel girders were extended at a later stage to allow construction of 2 bridges over the excavation. Sydney Metro North West Rail Project. The design brief included 3 underground, 2 cavern and 3 above-ground metro stations. The architectural shape of this canopy, replicating the organic geometry of leaves from local trees, was intended to become an iconic element of the new line, which provides a point of difference from the existing stations of the train network. This was achieved by designing slender, low-impact structural elements, optimising off-site manufacture and assembly. The main station roof canopy comprises a pair of arched profile central spine beams, each springing from 2 concrete support buttresses.
The judges awarded a high commendation in this category. The high commendation is awarded to
Shell House, Wynyard Place.
Congratulations to Shell House, Wynyard Place. Now, we have our winning project for engineering projects for 2020.
Lachlan's Line Pedestrian Bridge.
The Lachlan's Line Pedestrian Bridge is one of a kind. There's simply no other bridge in the world like it. Durability on this bridge was a challenge, and it was achieved through the design of fabricated, closed structural sections, smooth transitions and connections between elements for maximum surface continuity and elimination of dust and water collection, and the use of robust and durable materials and finishes. SNL worked with designers Arab and the builders Arenka and Darikon in many collaboration meetings to discuss best work practices and methodologies to achieve the desired final result. This job was completed thanks to SNL's team of welders, boilermakers, painters, managers and engineers, and with the help of our many suppliers. There are other helix bridges around the world, but Lachlan's Line is snake-shaped, almost like a worm, where it gets fatter and skinnier. I don't know of any material other than steel that can produce this unique and world's first feature on the pedestrian bridge. This unique design required innovative fabrication, construction and delivery methods, and advancing steel manufacturing in this country. Looking at the design and complexity and how SNL were able to build it to within its tightest of tolerances, we feel very honoured to receive this award.
Congratulations to Lachlan's Line Pedestrian Bridge. Well done. Okay, so that wraps up the New South Wales ACT Steel Excellence Awards for 2020. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations to all the winners and high commendations. And don't forget, the winning projects will be vying against the other states for national honours. Thank you for joining us.